Thank you, Chief. The J1 students, that sounds like a large number. Is that more than last year?
Yeah, I think it's consistent with what we've had in the past. We were anticipating possible reduction in numbers just because of a lot of the political stuff that's going on throughout the world, but that wasn't the case. So should have plenty of help for our local business communities this summer.
Good, good. Any questions for the Chief?
Real quick, Chief, and a comment. The J1 visa program, obviously in this area, is very helpful.
Yes.
Because a lot of positions would go empty if it
Yep.
wasn't for them. There seems to be a problem with housing again, which is usually the problem with the J1 visa kids. I've seen some ads and articles written up about housing. In reference to Millville last year, do you remember off the top of your head, generally speaking, how many responses we had in Millville? I know we have 11 so far year to date through March.
I can,
I didn't bring my,
yeah, I can probably pull that up on my phone. If you give me a few minutes, I can check that out. Russ, you wouldn't happen to have that number off the top of your head, would you?
Well, I think it's usually between 3 and 4 a month. So you multiply that times 12 and you get the number.
36, 40, somewhere. in
Yeah, I
there.
would say between 40 and 50, probably somewhere in that amount.
Okay. Up or down, the trend?
It's about the same.
That's
That's a little bit quieter this time of the year.
Yeah.
Obviously, summer's coming. The demand, not just on the Ocean View Police Department, but for all of our allied agencies in the area is going to increase.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we just don't have a lot, you know, as numbers wise.
this time.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Very good. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Chief. Moving on to planning and zoning. Ken?
Thank you, Mayor Redderton. My report's very brief this month. Clearing activities for the Shore Vista residential community have been completed. They've commenced work on their stormwater management ponds. Building continues out in Silver Woods. The highlight here is that sidewalk repairs have been completed in Ocean View Beach Club along with the curb repairs. The developer has begun to make place the final surface course, wearing surface on the roadways. They've pulled off, or paving contractor pulled off last week, so hopefully they'll get back in 30 to 60 days or whenever they can get back here to do that work. Capital improvements, as everybody probably knows, the Woodland Avenue sidewalk project has commenced. All the drainage features, inlets, pipes, they've all been have all been installed, and contractor is currently working on installing the sidewalk. Follow up from the winter storms, we started last week fixing all the areas through town that were damaged, all the grass areas that were damaged during the winter weather events in last January. Some of that is just topsoil, seed and mulch, some of it is sod replacement, and a few areas there's some sprinkle heads we got to fix. Grants. We received notification from the Delaware Department of Transportation that we have were awarded a Transportation Alternatives Program grant to construct sidewalks along Central Avenue from SR 26 to Daisy Avenue, along Oakland from Woodland to Central, and along Oakwood from Central to the park. The maximum dollar amount of this grant could be up to $1 million. I received some bad news on this other grant late yesterday afternoon from A.J. Shaw, the director of the Delaware Emergency Management Agency. In a letter, he writes that on late Friday, April 4th, 2025, FEMA Acting Regional Administrator Lillian Hutchinson informed stage that in alignment with the President's executive orders and under the direction of Department of Homeland Security Secretary Noem, FEMA has officially canceled the FY 2024 Building Resilient Infrastructure and Communities grant program. So what that means for us is we had a project for 2024, brick applications for 2024 will not be submitted for funding. That's a loss of $259,995 to the town. There were 11 FY 2023 brick projects that were selected for pre-approval that will not go through. That is a loss of $164,149 for the town. The rest of the stuff is code enforcement, permits, COs, rental licenses. Do you have any questions?
Any questions for Ken?
Yes, I do. Ken, thanks for all the work you've done at Ocean View, but I do have one question. Have you accepted the curbs? The curbing is complete, or is that something that goes on another inspection later?
We will, when all the curbing and pavement is done and the contractor is fully out of there, then they will get final acceptance.
Okay, because here's my question. At Bennett Point and Old Orchard, there's no handicap walkway, and I had talked to the engineering firm, and he said, yes, they are going to install that. I just didn't want them to leave without that being installed.
Well, everything that's installed is installed per the plans.
Okay.
So
So this was the engineering firm, is it Wallace and?
no, this was the engineering firm in Davis, Bowen, and
That's what I
Fidel.
meant, yes,
that
yes, that's what I
works for the
spoke to.
developer that designed these plans in 2012. There are several areas of that community where the ADA ramps, to me, appear to be in odd locations, but that's the approved plan.
Okay. Two different answers.
Any other questions for Ken?
No.
Thank you. Moving on to town manager's report.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. Just wanted to say thank you to the police department for all the efforts for the accreditation that'll happen. Public Works really came out and helped getting the facility ready, and of course the policies and everything, but it was a really good team effort to watch, and I think you won't have any problem as well. Also wanted to share, we had on April 1st, April Fool's Day, we had something that we've been working on for 5 years come to a conclusion with the sale of the town's water distribution system to Tidewater Utilities. Many people know, I hope many people know, we've been trying to share the information that our utility was a fully outsourced utility, meaning we didn't have the ownership rights of the water, and really had no oversight of the utility as well. So after 5 years of negotiations, we were able to sell the utility. The town accomplished paying off all of its debt. We only had debt for the water utility. And we also have the opportunity to begin talking in the near future about how we will use the retained reserves of which at writing was $1.4 million. We had associated with our budget, we also had some financial forecast efforts that took place, and we've identified different opportunities for the use of that funding that we will fine tune and have discussions about in the near future. But very pleased with the outcome and the risk avoidance that the town has now for operating a water utility, which does include managing risk. So that has concluded. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Veronica, Dawn, Ken. Lots of work went into this effort to get to this point. And just in case anybody doesn't know, Tidewater, some representatives are here in the back, and we welcome you to our meeting. And they will be holding a public meeting for anybody that is from the town's old system to come in and ask any questions right here at 5 o'clock. Okay. Just want to bring full circle. We have been meeting over a couple years now, maybe longer, with GenRec to see if there'd be any interest with them partnering with us about what we refer to as the point at the end of Elliott Avenue. As you may know, they used to only rent that to, or allow their guards to rent the property for many years. it's a pristine area that was bought with open space funds, which really technically means it should have the use of the public. So it's something we wanted to be able to have some very limited, not any real programmed type access, but wanted to be able to have our community have access to it. So we wanted to partner with them. At this point in time, they're not interested. They are going to only be renting it, the guards will not be there any longer. You know, that they did some of that last year, and it seemed successful for them. But it is a beautiful area in Ocean View that it's unfortunate that everybody can't take advantage of. So we'll see. They may get back to us. Meals on Wheels, the March for Meals awareness program. Mayor Reddington and I have participated in it for 4 or 5 years now. And we did again. It's always rewarding and eye-opening, and just so fortunate that the people in our community have the opportunity so close to have their meals delivered. OSHER and OSHER, the UD Lifelong Learning Program, their lease has been extended. South Coastal Village Volunteers, our other tenant that's in this building, also have extended their lease. Thrilled to have them here. Before we had OSHER has been here for some time, but before South Coastal, this building wasn't utilized quite a bit during the day. So now we're covering our utilities with the rentals between the two of them, and some of the other limited other rentals that we do that are one-offs. So good partnerships with two good organizations. I'm happy to say that we have hired our new accountant. You all know that Shawanda had a great opportunity, and we hated to see her go, but we feel really really good about the new hiring. We will have, she will start on, Joanne Stozic will start on the 28th. Okay, so we'll get back to a little bit more normal there. Shared some other information. I'm just going to skip through it, but a bunch of information about my outreach and engagements, but I'd be happy to answer questions about anything here or anything in general.
Any questions? Carol?
No.
No.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to the Public Works report. Matthew?
Besides our daily facility inspections, we are gearing up for the season. Finally have some warm weather, so we started grass cutting, got our mowers ready to go, and we're going to hit a couple of the areas that we do ourselves. The bathrooms out here, you noticed the heater wasn't working, the fan wasn't working, so we took that out with the men's room and ended up painting, caulking, redoing the drywall on that, and put in a new fan and heater in there. We also fixed the drinking fountain that hasn't been working for a couple years, I believe. So now that's operational. There was a broken freezer motor in the freezer here, so that was really loud, and we ended up having to replace that instead of buying a new freezer. So the guys have been doing a really good job repairing things instead of buying something new, which is great. We've been helping Chief over at the 201 trying to get ready for his inspection. We had VSC Fire and Security come to perform their routine inspection. Hoops came out and replaced all the fire extinguishers, or inspected all the fire extinguishers around the park and offices. But now, overall, we are getting ready for the season. We will be doing our mosquito spraying, and the guys all went and did a nice little workshop in class on that. And we'll be going around, and I myself and another gentleman are going to learn the route from Jacob, who's been doing it for the past couple of years. So we look forward to that.
Thank you. We see a big improvement in the Public Works Department, and I want to thank you for taking that leadership and making things good.
We have new uniforms, so everybody knows who we are.
Any questions? No. Okay, moving on to the Millville Volunteer Fire Department report. I don't know if this is accurate, because it looks awful conspicuous that March
Funny.
25 looks the same as March 24.
Funny you should ask. Actually, I noticed that. They both, March of 24 and March of 25 both came out for the people in the audience to 261 total calls. So I thought it was a typo, of course. So I reached out and Doug checked it, and it's correct.
Wow.
So,
Well, 220 EMS calls and 41 fire calls, the exact same thing for 2 years. for the same month.
yes, I know. My answer was, wow, that's hard to believe.
The only difference is that 36 of those calls were in Ocean View in March of 25, and 25 calls were in March of 24. So, any other
I
comments?
knew you were gonna ask that.
Any other comments before I move it to citizens' privilege?
No.
No? All right, so we're going to move to citizens' privilege on the items on the pre-published agenda listed for discussion and consideration for items that might have been added at any time to the pre-published agenda. If anyone chooses to speak at the first citizens' privilege, he or she may not speak on the same topic at the second citizen privilege. So, does anyone have any comments, questions, ideas? Seeing none, I guess we move to new business. The first item is discussion, consideration, and possible voting on a recommendation to make HVAC repair replacements at 201 Central Avenue.
Yes, Mayor and Council, thank you. You may be aware from visits during the summer months that over the past 3 or 4 years, we have experienced some issues with our air conditioning, specifically when it gets more hot. Our previous contractor was not able to really address it. We did call in this past fall a different vendor who came in and was able to do a good evaluation, and in turn was able to tell us that our existing equipment did not match up with the blower capacity that was necessary. So with that said, the solution is to have replace the existing older furnaces and address the issue of the units freezing up, and also having to shut them down. But we also had some flooding that occurred that even at least one time went down to the first floor. So in addition, when we had them look, they also found some issues with the one return valve, that for the conference room that actually was drawing air from a closet. Some of you may know that when the building was originally built, it wasn't built to have the offices that it has upstairs, so a lot of walls went up and things happened that changed it, so it did impact the HVAC for sure, and we've been addressing things for some time. But anyway, the cost for this is $18,665 from the Capital Reserve Trust Fund, and then another $5,835 from the contingency fund for the Capital Reserve, for a total of $24,500. And what that does for us is it adds 2 new furnaces and then makes the improvements for the ductwork, so that we should be in good shape going into this season and not have to deal with some of the issues that we have had recently. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions before we ask for a motion?
I'd like to make a motion, we enter into a contract service with North Star Heating and Air Conditioning at a cost of $24,500 for material and labor to correct the HVAC services.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So passes 5-0. Thank you. The next item is discussion, consideration, and possible voting on a resolution establishing a fee schedule for fiscal year 2026. Dawn, would you like to address this?
Part of the budget book that was submitted in February included revisions to the fee schedule. Of course, those revisions are part of this resolution, along with removing the fees associated with the water system. Of course, the fees associated with the water system were not necessarily taking place with the resolution. It was just we just put them on there for convenience purposes. We did leave the fees that are associated that will not go away. Return check, interest fees are still on the fee schedule. Other than that, there was no other changes made to the fee schedule that was previously presented.
Thank you. Any further questions?
Real quick, yes, Mr. Mayor, there's no other changes, like you just said, to the proposed fee schedule that we talked about in budget workshop and
Yes.
various meetings?
Yes.
Okay.
No changes except I removed what was captured by the ordinance.
Yes.
There was no need to have those on
Yes.
there now. Yes.
Very good. And then, there was only 3 or 4,
There were 3.
which we talked about, and they weren't even heavily used,
No.
or that much, so, fine, very good, thank you.
Any further questions? No, then I need a motion.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, motion to establish a schedule of fees for all administrative actions or services, applications, licenses, permits, impact fees, professional fees, financial security performance, surety and utility bonds, and rental licenses, police department fees, and such other fees as required by the Ocean View Code.
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So passes 5-0. Thank you. We're moving now to the second citizen's privilege. If anyone in the audience has a question, comment, suggestion, step forward. If not, forever hold your peace. There is no executive session today, so I need a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Mayor, motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So passes 5-0. Thank you. Thank you all for coming.